السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد إن أصدق حديث كتاب الله عز وجل وأحسن حديث محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة في الإسلام بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise and thanks is due to Allah Azza wa Jal. We praise Him and we extol Him and we seek refuge in Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala from the evil within ourselves and the evil results of our wrong actions. Whomsoever Allah guides can be never left astray in misguidance. And whomsoever Allah Azza wa Jal allows to stray, and there is no help, no guidance for that individual. Verily, the most truthful of speech is the book of Allah, Tabarak Ta'ala, the Quran Majid, and the finest guidance is that of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the most evil of affairs are the newly invented ones, bid'ah. And every innovation is a going astray, and every going astray leads to the hellfire. Nasallallahu al-afiyah. As it follows, O you who believe, have the consciousness of Allah and always speak a word that is true and directly to the point. As a result, Allah Ta'ala, He will forgive us of our sins and overlook our faults, and whosoever obeys Allah Azza wa Jal and His Messenger has indeed achieved a firm handhold. Amma ba'd. As what follows, last week, my dear brothers, Salam and Iman, we touched on the importance of choosing to use our intellects in a correct manner so that, bi'idhnillah, we will feel content within ourselves that we're on the right path. And I know that there isn't anybody who deems himself as misguided. But Allah musta'an, Allah Azza wa Jal, He knows best that a lot of us are misguided while believing that we are on the right path. They're on the correct path of right guidance. And this is due to many reasons, but mainly due to the waswasa, the evil suggestions, the whispers of the shayateen al-jinn wal-ins, the devils amongst the humans and the jinn, amongst mankind and the jinn. This is a thing which is called waswasa. Allah He mentions that in His noble book when He was referring to Adam alayhi salam and his wife, our mother Hawa, Eve. when Allah Azza wa Jal, He has mentioned to us in many places in the Quran that the shaitan, he approached them and he said, Allah said that he waswasa lahuma wa khasam lahuma inni lakuma lamina nasihin. Allah Azza wa Jal says that the shaitan, he whispered to them, he suggested to them, and he made an oath, he swore that he is to them both a sincere advisor. So with this sincere advice, the shaitan allowed our mother and father, Adam and his wife, Eve, to be kicked out of Jannah. And it's upon us now to always search and always be on the lookout for the correct guidance. So the topic of our khutbah today, bi'idhnillah, our reminder, a nasiha, is that of the importance of building correct relationships in Islam. And that what I have noticed, and there are many reasons for people to go astray, what I have understood and noticed is that one of the main reasons for people to go astray or to remain on the correct guidance is the friends that they choose to keep. And we have to know, once we reach a certain age, that there's a difference between our co-workers, our classmates, and our friends. We have to understand, once we reach a certain age of maturity, that there's a big difference between these things. And we have to seek to find out, is this person that I'm associating with a sincere well-wisher for me? Why I chose this is because children 4, 5, and 6 years old, they don't know the difference, and you can't blame them. They're experimenting with blocks and with numbers and trying to get their name straight on the line. So we can't blame a young person, 4, 5, 6 years old, 7, 8, to not make the right choices in terms of who they deem to be their friends. They don't know that they are not their friends. But when we reach a certain age, we have to understand that tender teenage age, we have to start to understand the difference between the 2 and 3. What is a co-worker? When we get out into the workforce, we have to understand that these are our co-workers. When we're in university or college, that these are our classmates. It's very few that we'll find somebody in those limited circles that is a sincere well-wisher for us. So, most importantly, as believers, we have to understand that most people, they want good for themselves and not others. And one of the foundational principles in our deen is that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La yu'minun ahadakum." None of us can truly be a real believer hatta yuhibbun li akhi ma yuhibbun li nafsi. Until we want for our brother that which we want for ourselves. So maybe we know, or maybe we haven't heard, that gun violence is on the rise in our city. Just recently, another young man was gunned down in our city, was killed. We're losing our youth to gun violence. Who was ill-advising our youth by telling them that they need to walk around with a gun? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. On the other hand, we have others who are ill-advising them in the masajid, on the streets, in the schools, and radicalizing our youth online. We heard about the recent story of one of our youth, he's a young man now, who went to Turkey, and he was apprehended by the Turkish authorities because he was trying to cross the border into Syria to join the extremist group, ISIS. But it was fortunate for him that he was able to get apprehended and sent back to Canada, where he pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to 4 years in prison. And now he's undergoing psychiatric treatment and assessment, and a qualified imam is also teaching and advising him. So we also may have heard recently of the young girl, Shamima Belem, the 15-year-old girl from the UK who left from her family in safety and security took her sister's passport and went over to join ISIS. Her and her two friends went over to join. 15-year-old girl was ill-advised by friends, her peers, and online, and she went over and she made it from Syria. She made it from Turkey to Syria, and she joined that radical group. Their two friends, they died. They were killed. Young girls, they were killed. This young girl, Shamima Beckham, she got pregnant at 15 years old. Once, twice, 3 times. Her 2 children died. And now she's 18. She has a young baby, and she's pleading with the UK government to allow her to come back into the UK. Now she's seen the reality of those deviant, misguided groups. And we've been warning our community, and we've been explaining and teaching the youth of the importance of attaching yourself to the masajid and freeing yourself from those misguided groups. Because a lot of them, they have only self-interest in mind. They have only self-vented interests, and they want to use people for their own selfish agendas. So we have to understand, my dear Salam and Iman, that many people have and will continue to lose themselves, lose their aql, their intelligence, and even their lives, because they're allowing themselves to surround themselves with those people who are insincere towards them, who are ill-advising them. Many people have been misguided and lost their mentality, ending up in the mental hospitals here, which I have seen and witnessed with my own eyes. And in the worst case, have lost their lives because of their so-called friends. They believe that these are their friends. So, my dear Salam Iman, we have to understand, once we reach a certain age, if we have children or we're in connection with young people, we have to advise them. If you have a friend, tell us what makes that person your friend. Most young people, they have no idea what a friend is. They just think that people who are around them, they are their friends. But they have no idea what constitutes a well-wisher, a real friend, a real bona fide friend, which is few, which is very, very few in number. So, my dear Salam Iman, as we grow older, we have to be able to distinguish between our classmates, our co-workers, our friends, and our real well-wishers, our bona fide friends, which is very, very few, which we can say is in our limited circle of maybe 10. And of that 10, there's maybe 5. And of that 5, we can say there's only 2 who we can consider as our sincere well-wishers. As Allah, we all know about the hadith of the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that none of you truly believes until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. A man came to Abu Hurairah and he said, Ya Abu Hurairah, oh Father Kidden, I want to be your friend. I want to be your brother. I want to be your real friend. Abu Hurairah, he asked him, do you know what the rights of brotherhood are? He said, no, akhbirni, teach me, tell me, educate me. He said that you do not have more right over your wealth than I do. Can you do that? He said, no. He said, then leave me alone. Leave me alone. They say a friend in need is a friend indeed. We should be there for our friends. Allah Azza wa Jal had reminded us of this in many places in this book. And the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he had said this in many, many ahadith on the importance of al-akhuwa, choosing good friends. The Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in hadith sahih and through Abu Hurairah anhu that الرجل على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم لمن يخالل أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, that a person is on the deen, the way of life, the etiquette, the manners, the morals of their friends. So let us look to who we keep in our company and consider as our friends. We know that the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I don't think anyone here doesn't know the hadith that the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that in regards to choosing a friend, that the method of Julus al-Salih or Julus al-Su, the example of a good friend and a bad friend is like the person who sells the misk, the attar, the tib. the perfume, the cologne. Maybe that person will give you some as a gift, or maybe you'll purchase some of that attar from him, or just being in the presence of that attar salesperson, the attar salesman, you will get a nice smell. You'll get a nice feeling from that person. And like the blacksmith, the person who's blowing on the bellows, he's a person that when he blows on these bellows, the sparks might damage your clothing. Or being around that person, the smell of the fumes would make you sick. This is why the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always advise us to choose your friends wisely. Allah says in Surah Tawbah, ayat number 119, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu, ittaqullah wa qulu ma sadiqin. He says, O you who have attained faith, O you who believe, have the consciousness of Allah, and always spend your time with those who are true in word and deed. This is what Allah says to us. This is what He advises us. When we're believers, we shouldn't waste our time with people who have no good intention. Why? Why do I say that? If they say, we don't have to pray, we'll pray later. This is a person you got to watch out for. If a person is not advising you about Allah, when you want to do something good and they're advising you otherwise, you have to have your antennas up. This person I thought is my friend, and now it's time for me to pray, and they're saying we don't have to pray. We have to be careful of those who we choose to be in our company. We are choosing as Muslims to be in the company of kadab, of liars. Those people who are kha'in, backstabbers. We can't trust them on not even a small amount of money, because we are most likely not going to get it back. We can't trust them. Allah says that these people of the dunya, we have to not be in their company. Allah says, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاءِ وَعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدَ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِيعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلَ قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاءَهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرَطًا. Allah says that we should keep ourselves patiently with those who call on their Rabb in the morning and in the afternoon, only seeking the face of Allah Ta'ala. And we should not let our eyes wander away from them for those people who love the pomp and the glitter and the glamour of this hayat dunya. And obey not those people whose hearts have become heedless of this worldly life and who follow their lusts and desires. We have to be careful, my dear Basalam Iman. And the Salaf, they said that in general, about friends. He said, you may be able to hide your innovation, your bid'ah from us, but you cannot hide your friends from us. You cannot hide your friends from us. Ibn Abbas, and Radhananhu, he said regarding this ayah, this statement of Allah, that we should not favor those people of pomp and glitter over those humble worshippers of Allah Ta'ala. As we mentioned at the beginning, we have a choice. We don't have any choice of who's going to be in our class. We may like this person or we do not like that person, but sometimes we got to work in a group with those people we don't like or we maybe even hate. We have to work with people, so we have to suck it up and we have to work with people who we don't like. We don't have a choice in that matter. We don't have a choice of where we're born. Those people who are born in Syria and they're suffering, and the people who are dying, that's a fitna for them. We have to make dua for them. How is it that a young person is going to watch a few videos on YouTube and become shaja', so courageous, and he wants to try and go to Turkey and go to Syria and fight? He has no training. He wakes up, he gets food, cereal, he gets milk, he opens his fridge, nice, easy, soft life, and overnight he becomes a mujahid, strong, shaja', courageous. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. That's their fitna. We have to pray for them. They're strong. May Allah make them thabat and protect them and aid them. Allahumma ameen. We have to understand, my dear Muslim Iman, that as the old saying goes, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. May Allah help us and make it easy for us and those who are suffering over there in the Middle East, in Africa. Our brothers and sisters are suffering now in Pakistan, in India. We have Muslims on both sides. People are starting to lose lives on both sides. We have to make dua for them. The Allah makes it easy for our brothers and sisters who are suffering on the borders, in the armies of India and in Pakistan. They're going to be enlisted. We don't want to see innocent bloodshed. So we have to make dua for them. Our brothers and sisters who are suffering in the Middle East, in Africa, in the Sudan. They're protesting for luqmat aish, for bread. May Allah make it easy for them. Our brothers and sisters who are suffering in the Kashmir, may Allah ease their suffering and overlook the faults and protect them from adul shayateen. Amin, amin, amin. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. Bismillah, salatu salam, ala Rasulullah, wa ala alihi, wa ashabihi, wa man tabi'a huda, wa ba'd. My dear Salam Iman, I ask Allah by His Asma al-Husna, wa Sifat al-Ulya, by His greatest names and His attributes, that He help us, He will endow upon us, He will pour on us the love of huda, the love of guidance, the love of correct guidance. That Allah Ta'ala, He will protect us from the adu, the enemy of the shayateen, al-jinn, wal-ins. Allahumma ameen. While we are choosing our friends, the first thing that we have to keep in our minds or in our hearts, that this isn't a selection process. We will attract to us those people who will naturally be kind to us, and vice versa. We shouldn't only expect other people to be like us, because maybe we have faults, and we do have faults. But the real friend is a person who will point out your faults to you, not so as to embarrass you, not so as to put you down. And that friend is not going to backstab you. He's going to stab you in your chest, in your front, to show you what your faults are, because he wants you to be a better person. He wants you to be a better person. And throughout our life, my dear Salam Iman, we have to know and understand that Allah Ta'ala, He is our friend. Allah waliyadina amanu yukhriju min adh-dhulumat ila nur. Allah Azza wa Jal is the wali. He is the friend, the protector of those who believe. And He will take us out of darkness into light. So many Muslims have gone astray. Many Muslims are in dalala. They're in darkness because they're choosing Pir Sahib, this mullah, so many people who they feel is not right, but they just trust them blindly. We shouldn't have any blind love for anybody except Allah and the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is the same for all of us, whether we are in school or we're working or we're anywhere we can be. We're playing sports. We have to understand that we can easily be influenced. We can easily be influenced by the people who are around us, by the people who we allow into our circle. So this influence is something which anyone can be susceptible to. So we have to understand that this isn't something which is only in school or in work or in play. It could also happen in your own home. We can also be ill-advised by members of our own family. By saying, why you pray? Why you go to masjid? I want to pray. I want to go to masjid to be a better person. You'll have members of your own family who will tell you, do not pray. Do not go to masjid. Do not give sadaqat. Why are you giving to the mosque all the time? Why do you make sure when you go to mosque you want to give to the mosque? Why? Be polite and be kind. We always have to be polite and kind, especially with our families. And we have to make dua for them because they are ill-advising us. We don't know if the shayateen are pushing them. But we have to be polite and kind. And remember, my dear Salam Iman, what Allah says, لا تجد قوم يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر يوادون من هذا الله ورسوله ولو كان آباءهم أو أبناءهم أو إخوانهم أو عشيرتهم إلى آخر آية. Allah says that you'll never find anyone who believes in Allah Azza wa Jal in the last day. يوادون من هذا الله ورسوله, befriending, showing love and compassion towards those who have hatred and enmity towards Allah and His Rasul, even if they're aqrab al-aqrabin. They are closest of relatives, our fathers, our mothers, our brothers. Ila akhir ayah. So this means, my dear Salam Iman, that we should never ever befriend those people who deny faith, Iman. This is our greatest commodity in this life. We cannot ever try and gamble with our Iman. And our Iman is our connection with Allah Ta'ala. We love Allah Azza wa Jal. But many Muslims, they are losing their Iman because they're shy to set boundaries when it comes to the deen. When it comes to the deen, we do not let anyone come in between us and our love of Allah Ta'ala. When our family, our friends, our beloved people in this world wants to come in between ourselves and our Allah Azza wa Jal, then that's when we have to draw the line. We cannot be shy. We cannot allow people to boost us up. A lot of youth are getting boosted up. There isn't anything wrong with peer pressure. Peer pressure is something which makes us smart, makes us intelligent. Peer pressure is a natural part of life, but we don't allow people to pull our strings and boost us up. Why are you afraid to go to Syria? Why are you afraid? I have somebody who can help you, or this or that. We can't be afraid to tell them that Allah caused me to be here and Allah did not cause me to be there. So you don't have to try and convince me to do something that you're not doing yourself. So we have to be wise, my dear Salam Iman. We have to look at these people who are our so-called friends and ask them that, as the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Al-Muslim mir'at al-Muslim, that the Muslim is a mirror of another Muslim. We have to be sincere and we have to be patient with our Muslim brethren in general. But if they ill-advise us, that's when we have to draw the line. Finally, we have to understand that there's a difference between our classmates, our co-workers, our friends, and our confidants. Those who we can consider as our confidants are people who are happy when we're happy. When we share with them our achievements, they become happy. When we tell them about how our children are doing, good or bad, they're happy or they're sad, and vice versa. When we tell them these things, are they sad? Do they act as if they don't really care about what we're telling them? This something should make us think, are these people really my friend? Do these people who we consider as our friends, do they inspire me to do good? Do they help me to better myself? If I'm trying to do a halal business, do they say, brother, this is halal, why are you wasting time? You can make more money doing keda wa keda. You have to wonder, is this person really my friend? We have to understand that there are many people out there who are going to claim to be our friends, but we have to put them to the test. We have to put our friendships to the test. And this is coming through peer pressure on both sides. They're going to pressure us to do things we don't like, and we're going to pressure them to do things that they don't like. And this is where the friendship will be put to the test. We have to know that the real confidants, the real, true, sincere well-wishers of ours are going to be few in life. No matter where we are on this earth, no matter how much we believe that this person is our friend, in reality, we have to be strong enough to let them go. We have to be strong enough to let those people go. If we want to be safe, we want our family to be safe, then we have to be strong enough to be able to determine who are our sincere well-wishers and who are those who are just shaitan al-ins. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us and bless us and keep us guided ala sabil al-rashad. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Inna Allah wa malaikatu wa saluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu. Sallu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Wa fil akhirati hasanah. Wa qina adhaban nar. Aqim salat.